Hi, Mary from Reviewer's Diary. I've been as upset as everybody else is. What the hell? First we get a pandemic of virus of epic proportions where over 100,000 people are dead. And now we have the Black Lives Matter movement because of the incredible violence that's been perpetrated on black people. I keep thinking to myself, can you imagine, I'll make this brief because I know a lot of you have heard this already from other YouTubers, but I have to have my say on this. Can you imagine having to tell your child every time they go out the door what to watch out for with the police? What to say, how to act, what to do when they get pulled over. I can't even imagine that, and most Americans can't imagine that. And we need to really think hard about the things that have been going on. I'm not a big YouTuber, so I'll make maybe a penny on this video. I know some people will leave me, won't subscribe to me any longer because of it, of what I'm saying, especially those who are almost cult-like following Trump. So now you know who I don't like. And those people who love Trump still, even though he's said so many horrible things and tweeted and put things in print that are so freaking horrible, and they still follow him, almost like he's a freaking Jesus or something, But anyway, and the economy can't possibly be the only reason that people are following him. Economists know that a good economy usually originates 4 to 5 years prior to the person who comes into office. So things that were set in motion previous to Trump are really responsible. I have to say this, I've been quiet about it because, and I might have to disable the comments on this video, I've been quiet about this because Trumpers have come after me, spewing hatred and other things. But, Donald Trump is not uniting this country. A way to unite this country would have been to acknowledge what was going on, to talk about trying to transition to more peaceful relations, instead of perpetrating a continuation of hatred and bigotry. It's just beyond me. I almost can't, I don't have words to express how I feel about this. I'm a Republican. I am a Republican. So this is just so hard to talk about. If you watch it depends on what channel you fixate yourself on. If you fixate yourself onto Fox News, actually some of them are starting to say, whoa, put the brakes on here, what's going on? But a few diehard Fox liars are still perpetrating things. But there are some newsmen and women that I really respect because they're not letting things lie. They're actually going after the truth. Trump wants cease and desist orders against both Fox and CNN because his polls have been bad. Who does he think he is? Cease and desist, like what, you didn't like the results of the poll that show you losing to Biden? So you want them to retract the polls? What kind of lunacy is that? He could have been a hero. He could have been like the hero for our country. He could have come out and said, I'm sorry about this pandemic. We're going to go after it. We're going to do the best we can from the beginning. Instead, he chose to ignore a lot of warnings that came to him in January and February. I'm not saying the virus is his fault. It's certainly not, and it probably would have spread anyway. But instead of always trying to create lies around what he wants the truth to be, he could have been a truth teller and a person who encouraged the country. We can do this. We can band together and we can defeat this. Instead, he's too worried about how he's going to look with a surgical mask on because it might ruin his looks. He's not even meeting, he says, well, I meet with world leaders and so on and so forth. Well, when he's visiting a manufacturing plant where everyone has a mask on except for him, you're not visiting world leaders. You're visiting people who are helping our country, and you should help our country also by wearing a mask. You protect the people around you by wearing a mask, and people should wear a mask and stop fighting about whether it's against your civil liberties. This is life and death here. I have asthma, so do you want to come over here and breathe on me and not wear a mask? Don't you want to protect some innocent little baby who maybe has some diseases or other reasons that they don't have an immune system? Do you want to be responsible? It's really, I could say so much more. Trump wanted photo ops, and these things are appearing in commercials now. So he had a group of peaceful protesters gassed and forced and shot at with rubber bullets so that he could cross the street without them being there. So he could hold up a Bible. For what purpose? A commercial. Now we've all seen that, so when you see the commercial with him with a Bible in his hand, I don't know who that's supposed to appeal to, because apparently the Christian right has left him also. They believe that he's a liar now. Most of them, unless they're frickin' wacko, but most of them are like, we don't think we want to hitch our wagon to this guy. And Fox News refers to the protesters as anarchists. Let me tell you something, and you will listen, and I will disable the comments. The people who set fires and destroyed stores, like 90% of them that were arrested were from out of town. There were protesters who left because they didn't like what they were seeing. There were other protesters in Miami, and I'll link the little video down below, it's very short, who stopped a mob from looting a CVS and saying, that's not what we're here for, stop. And they actually stopped them from destroying the store. These are not hooligans and anarchists. These are people exercising their civil liberties. They're exercising their freedom by the Constitution. Mr. Trump, open a Constitution and actually read it. People read the Constitution, read the amendments to the Constitution. Yes, we have the amendment to have our guns, and many people hold on to that as, I forget what amendment is. I have guns, but, it's my whatever amendment right to have a gun. So, so how about the other amendments? Are you going to just ignore those? And if you do, should we ignore your right to have a gun? Or my right to have my guns? This is just... See, I'm angry now. I've been walking around my house crying and watching this. It's just so wrong. The people who are protesting are black, white, Hispanic, Asian, every race, and actually Native Americans. that every race is represented in those protesters. Now, the hooligans who, set things on fire are not the same people. In fact, the ones who are peacefully protesting are trying to protect people and businesses from those people who bus in from out of town and destroy things, because that's what they do. I love my country. I just don't love what's going on right now. It's so hard when your fellow Americans are talking about these people like they're anarchists. They're not. They're exercising their civil liberties and their right to peacefully demonstrate. They were peacefully demonstrating when Donald Trump decided that he wanted a photo op over at the in front of the closed up church that he never attends, holding up a Bible. So, those rubber bullets, they're not minor damage. They actually cause and inflict severe pain. So some of you will leave me after this video. I know you will. I hope you don't. I'm still the same Mary. I'm still going to be bringing subscription boxes and all that, but I just couldn't do it without saying how I feel. I actually wanted to join the protesters myself, and there are many people like me, and there are many, many, many Republicans out there who feel the way I feel. You just all don't know it. There are many, many Republicans who feel the way I feel. I'm not going to change my party affiliation. I thought about it. But what matters is how I cast my ballot in the presidential election. I did not vote in the primary because the only choices were Republicans, and I'm not going that route this time. So, I would normally say, post your comments down below, ask me any questions, but I am going to disable comments for this video just as soon as I can figure out how to do it, because I won't tolerate hatred on my channel. I won't tolerate people attacking each other in my comments section. I know there are some people who feel the way I feel, and those people, if they comment, will be attacked by others who don't. And I just don't think that's right. Why can't you all just be nice? You could be dead tomorrow. Why can't you all just stop? Black lives do matter. And I think a disproportionate number of black people have been jailed, have been arrested, and have been killed. I know there are white people and Asian people and Hispanic people. Actually, there's a Hispanic man who was killed using someone in I think it was Texas. The police officers used a chokehold and he died. So let's stop the freaking violence. Let's educate the police. We need the police. Defunding the police, I don't know. Someone's got to explain that a little bit better, because what we need is more education for the police, what your alternatives are. If somebody grabs your stun gun, do you shoot them to death? What do you do? How do you handle this? On TV, they chase everybody down. My uncle was a police officer in, I think, West Hempstead or East Hempstead. I'm not sure, but it was very rough there. And he was, I loved my Uncle Vinny. He was like 6'7" or 8", big giant man. And he was so funny. But he would tell us these stories about chasing bad guys through the streets. That's what you're supposed to do. Chase them. Don't shoot them. And don't shoot anybody in the back. What the hell? And don't put your knee on someone's neck while they're saying they can't breathe. And they end up asking for their mother, who's already dead. Like, why? Why didn't somebody stop that officer who was clearly wrong? And the others, he was on his neck. Somebody else had his knee on George Floyd's back, and another one had his knee on his legs. He couldn't move, and the knee on his back compressed his lungs, and the knee on his neck choked off his airway. What the hell is wrong? I don't understand. How could they not know this? I don't understand it.
He had the most farm in the game. What the fuck?
The police clearly need to be re-educated before anybody else dies. Number one, you don't shoot somebody in the back. Number two, if somebody says they can't breathe, they can't breathe. So stop what you're doing and make sure they can breathe. Make sure they can survive. I'm sorry about my foul language. I'm just so upset. I'm so upset. I'm going to have to beep out all the F-bombs that I threw in here. Or cut them out. But, society as a whole, I think most people love this country. And I think most people love our freedoms. And so, there are a small number of people losing the polls who prefer to label these people as anarchists, and they are not. They are exercising their freedom by our Constitution and our amendments. Who sends a, cease and desist letter because they don't like the numbers in the polls? I've never heard of that before, and that's just bizarre craziness. So anyway, if you stuck with me this long, thank you very much. I will be coming back with some subscription box information. I got my Walmart box, and I got both my Birchbox and my Allure Beauty box. So I'll be doing a separate video. I was going to make this a very quick intro and do my Walmart Beauty box, but I don't think it would be appropriate at this point. I just really need you to think hard before you exercise hatred. Think hard about it. Read the Constitution. Read the amendments. Think hard and stop being so divisive. Those of you who are being divisive, stop. Stop. Understand what's happening and understand why it's happening. Understand why protesters of every race are out there together, hand in hand, protesting. Don't think about the crazy people who come in from out of town and burn down businesses and torch cars. They're not from the locale. They're just not. So, most of them are not from in that town. There are some people who just love to create chaos and trouble, and those people are the ones who've done that. The peaceful protesters have not. Native Americans did a dance, a Native American dance during one of the protests, and all the protesters were watching, and the Native Americans, gosh, if anybody's got a right to complain about their freedoms, it's them. But they were doing a Native American dance, and, it's like a beautiful thing. So please think before you speak. Please think before you judge. Try not to judge other people, and read your Constitution if you have questions. So Anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I'll be back with lighter and happier things to review, but it won't be tonight. I'm too sad. I can't do it. Thank you. I love you. And I appreciate you listening. Thanks. Have a beautiful evening. Good night.